Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, may I now proceed to the second plenary session as of this morning. Please kindly take your seat. Excellencies, honorable speakers, heads and members of delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second plenary session and the closing ceremony of the 11th International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, IPTP. To commend the second plenary session, Solidifying Multilateralism, Cooperation and Partnership for Coexistence and Inclusive Connectivity, it is my great honor to respectfully acknowledge the presence of Honorable Chair, Co-Chair, and Honorable Speakers on stage. We'd like to welcome our Chair, His Excellency Mr. Aignat Dalkar, Member of the Parliament of Nepal. And our co-chair, Her Excellency Mrs. Margarita Respreto, Chairperson of the General Assembly of GCTP. We'd like to welcome His Excellency Mr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Jawan, President of GCTP. Welcome His Excellency Mr. Suhyara, President of IPTP and the Chairperson of the Commission on Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Media of the National Assembly of Cambodia. And we'd like to welcome His Excellency Katek Sethabandit Chiem Yip, First Vice President of the National Assembly of the Kingdom of Cambodia. We have with us His Excellency Mr. Khambe Damlat, Vice President of the National Assembly of Laos. And we'd like to introduce His Excellency Mr. Rolando Gonzalez Patricio, President of the Foreign Relations Commissions of the National Assembly of People's Power of Cuba and the President of the Latin American Parliament, Palantino. And we'd like to welcome Her Excellency Mrs. Fabiana Gabriela Martin, President of the Mercosur Parliament, Palasor. And we'd like to welcome His Excellency Mr. Gustavo Pacheco, President of the Andean Parliament, Paladino. And we'd like to also welcome our two honorable speakers who joining us by having their video contribution. So His Excellency Mr. Nemet Zsot, Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the National Assembly of Hungary. And we also have His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Dolemahi, President of the Arab Parliament, who also joining us with video recording. And we're also grateful to have our expert here with us, His Excellency Mr. Kim Dae-yong, President of the Global Korean Network Foundation, Peace and Prosperity. And we also like to respectfully His Excellency Professor Cham Kirati, Senior Minister in charge of Special Mission of the Kingdom of Cambodia. And we also like to welcome Mr. Amir Goraya, Head of the Governance of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP. And last but not least, it is our great pleasure to have His Excellency Bandit Sapiecha Dr. Soksipana, Senior Minister in charge of the Special Mission of the Kingdom of Cambodia. So now, may I respectfully hand over the floor to our Chair, His Excellency Mr. Aignat Dalkar, Member of the Parliament of Nepal, to chair and lead the session, and Her Excellency Mrs. Margarita Restrepo, Chairperson of the General Assembly of GCTP, to co-chair the session. Honorable Chair and co-chair, floor is yours.
Ladies and Your Excellencies, Honorable Speakers, Head of Delegations, members of the panel, Excellency Co-Chair, and Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. So it is my great honor and privilege to chair this session, the closing session of the 11th Plenary Session of the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace. So I'd like to welcome you all. And basically this session we have wonderful list of honorable speakers and also experts. They will present their views. So I'd like to request all the speakers and experts to present their view in very precise so that we can commence this session on time. The title of our session is Solidifying Multilateralism, Cooperation and Partnership for Coexistence and Inclusive Connectivity. We had a wonderful day yesterday. We passed Universal Peace Charter, which covers the 5 pillars: conflict prevention, peace building processes and good offices, transitional justice, post-conflict reconstruction and humanitarian and disaster response, food security and sustainable development in response to climate change. So in order to implement those 5 pillars of the Universal Peace Charter, we really need to re-strengthen the multilateralism and also our cooperation, the partnership for coexistence and inclusive connectivity. So in this regard, this session is very, very important. To go further, first of all, I'd like to invite His Excellency Kitisebabdit Chemep, the first Vice President of the National Assembly of the Kingdom of Cambodia, to give special remarks. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Honorable Mr. Eknath Kadam, Member of Parliament of Nepal, and Chair of Session 2, and Chairman of the International Association of Interparliamentarians for Peace in Asia Pacific. Honorable Mrs. Margareta Restrepo, Chairperson of General Assembly of Global Council for Tolerance and Peace, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning. First of all, I am pleased to attend the 11th plenary session of the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, hosted by the National Assembly of the Kingdom of Cambodia. In the name of the National Assembly and the people of Cambodia, I extend my welcome to all of you to Cambodia, Kingdom of Wonder. Cambodia is a small country, but with a big heart. It is my great honor to address this economic forum focused on fostering peace, tolerance, and reconciliation. The theme of the second plenary session is Solidifying Multilateralism, Cooperation, and Partnership for Coexistence in Inclusive Connectivity, which is particularly timely given the pressing challenges facing multilateralism and global governance today. Our world indeed is a critical moment. We must choose to part by cooperating and embracing a win-win approach. We can build shared prosperity. If we will divide and propose zero-sum outcome, we all stand to lose. In our interconnected and interdependent world, mutual support is essential. Your security is my security, underline the shared nature of our peace and well-being. It is crucial, therefore, to strengthen a global governance framework that is inclusive in a fair way, promoting a positive sum game for win-win cooperation. Cambodia is a small and open country, relying on a stable, peaceful regional and global environment and development. Our growth and security depend on integration in international systems and networks. Notably, international integration and connectivity are important components of our foreign policy. The more we connect, the more opportunity we create, and the more resilient we become. Therefore, Cambodia advocates strongly for a true, open, and inclusive multilateralism and commitment to international law. Under the wise leadership Samdech Maha Senapati Daiju Hun Sen, President of the Senate of the Kingdom of Cambodia and former Prime Minister, and Samdech Maha Bawar Thapadei Hun Manet, Prime Minister, Cambodia has achieved lasting peace and prosperity. This stability enables us to play a responsible and active role on the international stage. We aspire to be a bridge of trust and cooperation within our region and beyond. On this note, I wish to highlight Cambodia's international role in peace building, demining operation, and humanitarian assistance under the framework of the United Nations. It is truly remarkable that Cambodia was a country that received assistance from a peacekeeping mission during the transitional period. But now Cambodia has deployed about 10,000 peacekeepers to approximately 10 countries which conflict globally. Learning from those experiences, it is high time that we are willing to contribute to peacekeeping, and we are gathering here today to the purpose of harnessing international cooperation for government, parliament, and civil society organizations to consolidate our concerted effort to build the foundation of sustainable peace, which is the prerequisite for growth, development, human advancement, and prosperity in all forms that come along as a result. Furthermore, Cambodia experienced with transitional justice exemplified by the extraordinary chamber in the course of Cambodia versus as a model for post-conflict nations. Peace and justice are deeply interconnected, and Cambodia's journey shows the power of both in building a lasting peace. On behalf of the National Assembly of the Kingdom of Cambodia, I highly appreciate the international cooperation by the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace Global Family for their effort to cooperate for the cause of peace and building and maintaining tolerance, mutual understanding, and fostering sustainable development and cooperation by establishing the Universal Peace Charter for People and the Planet, which will become an international instrument and parliamentary diplomacy and peace-building, conflict prevention, reconciliation, among others. I also wish to share that the National Assembly of the Kingdom of Cambodia has continued its mission carried over from the previous legislature in working alongside the royal government of Cambodia to advance our peace diplomacy and enlarge your practical cooperation in multiple dimensions, especially in seeing collective commitment and peace-loving nations and entities in our neighbor journey to advocate our global peace development, and the inherent dignity of humanity. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. In this spirit, today's theme, I would like to offer 5 proposals as follows. First, let us make our voices loud and clear in opposing protectionism, economic coercion, zero-sum, geopolitics, and bloc politics. Second, we must reinforce open, inclusive, and genuine multilateralism founded on the principle of fairness, justice, and international law. Third, let us turn our interconnectedness into a positive force, a global peace and prosperity, interdependence in the face that bind us. Fourth, we should adopt a human-centered approach in our development strategy and international partnership. And fifth, we must strengthen multi-stakeholder collaboration and partnership advance peace and prosperity. Including Cambodia, a small nation with a big heart, we remain committed in promoting dialogue and cooperation and global peace. We aspire to be a bridge of trust and cooperation, uniting diverse nations and perspectives. I wish His Excellency Co-Chair, His Excellency and distinguished delegate continued health, happiness, and success in your noble work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Kiti Seva Bindit Semyab, the first Vice President of the National Assembly of the Kingdom of Cambodia, for highlighting Cambodia's experience and achievement in peace and transitional justice. Next, it's my pleasure to invite His Excellency Mr. Kambe Damlat, the Vice President of the National Assembly of Lao PDR. Your Excellency, floor is yours.
ก่อนอื่นขอเรียนคณะประธานกรมประชุมที่นับถือบรรดาท่านหัวหน้าคณะผู้แทนเพื่อนสมาชิกรัฐสภาท่านยิ่งท่านชายที่นับถือและฮักแพงทั้งหลายในนามคณะผู้แทนสภาแห่งชาติสปป.ลาวข้าพเจ้ารู้สึกเป็นเกียรติอย่างยิ่งที่ได้เข้าร่วมกรมประชุมครบคณะครั้งที่ 11 ของรัฐสภาสากลเพื่อสันติภาพและความอดกลั้นที่นครหลวงพนมเปญราชอาณาจักรกัมพูชีอันสวยงามแห่งนี้ข้าพเจ้าแสดงความสมเชยต่อการต้อนรับอันอบอุ่นด้วยความสามัคคีหักแพงและห่างหาก้าเกี่ยมกรมประชุมในครั้งนี้กรมประชุมครั้งนี้มันมีความหมายความสำคัญอย่างยิ่งเพราะจัดขึ้นในท่ามกลางที่สภาพการภาคพื้นและทั่วโลกพ่วงพันแปรไปอย่างสับสนเต็มไปด้วยสิ่งท้าทายหลายด้านทั้งแบบเก่าและแบบใหม่ที่บ่เคยมีมาก่อนโดยเฉพาะแม้นข้อขัดแย้งและการต่อสู้กดด้วยกันกำลังอาวุธอย่างบางภาคพื้นพ่วงเพิ่มทวีหุ้นแห้งขึ้นซึ่งได้ส่งผลกระทบอย่างหนักหน่วงต่อสันติภาพเสถียรภาพในทั่วโลกส่งผลกระทบโดยกงต่อการพัฒนาทางด้านเศรษฐกิจสังคมและการร่วมกันด้วยสันติของมวลมนุษยชาติข้าพเจ้าตีราคาสูงต่อบทบาทและความหมายสำคัญของบรรดาท่านสมาชิกรัฐสภาในระยะที่ผ่านมาซึ่งได้มีการปรึกษาหารือแลกเปลี่ยนทัศนะมีการประสานสมทบกันซอกหาวิธีทางในการส่งเสริมการปกปักรักษาสันติภาพสร้างความไว้เนื้อเชื่อใจซึ่งกันและกันพร้อมกันแก้ไขปัญหาต่างๆที่เกิดขึ้นด้วยสันติวิธี และการร่วมมือกันเพื่อพัฒนาโดยผ่านกองประชุมรัฐสภาภาคพื้นและสากลเป็นต้นสหพันธ์รัฐสภาสากลเวทีปรึกษาหารือรัฐสภาอาซีแปซิฟิกสามัญรัฐสภาไซภาษาฝรั่งสามัญรัฐสภาไซระหว่างชาติอาเซียนและอื่นๆบรรดาท่านที่นับถือหักแพงสสป.ลาวได้ดำเนินนโยบายการตั้งประเทศสันติภาพเอกราชมิตรภาพและการร่วมมือเพื่อการพัฒนาอย่างเสมอต้นเสมอปลายส่งเสริมความสามัคคีเป็นปึกแผ่นระหว่างบรรดาเผ่ามีความเสมอภาพต่อหน้ากฎหมายยึดมั่นตามเจตจำนงและความมุ่งมั่นทางด้านการเมืองที่ร่วมกันกับวงคณะญาติสากลแก้ไขปัญหาข้อขัดแย้งและสิ่งท้าทายที่พ่วงเกิดขึ้นในภาคพื้นต่างๆและในโลกด้วยวิธีการประกอบส่วนเข้าในการก่อสร้างสภาพแวดล้อมเอื้ออำนวยให้แก่สันติภาพการร่วมมือการเชื่อมโยงเชื่อมจอดในภาคพื้นพร้อมเดียวกันนี้สปป.ลาวได้ร่วมกับบรรดาประเทศเพื่อนบ้านใกล้เคียงเอาใจใส่ในการพัฒนาทางด้านเศรษฐกิจสังคมรวมทั้งพัฒนาพื้นฐานโครงสร้างเพื่อเชื่อมจอดด้านคมนาคมเป็นต้นการก่อสร้างเส้นทางรถไฟความไวสูงเส้นทางด่วนทางหลวงแห่งชาติและระบบสายส่งไฟฟ้าเพื่อประกอบส่วนอันสำคัญเฮ็ดให้สปป.ลาวของพวกข้าพเจ้ากลายเป็นประเทศเชื่อมจอดและเชื่อมโยงกับบรรดาประเทศต่างๆในภาคพื้นอาเซียนและระหว่างอาเซียนกับประเทศอื่นๆในโลกในคณะดังกล่าวนี้สภาแห่งชาติสปป.ลาวได้เพิ่มทวีบทบาทของตนในการคุ้มครองรัฐคุ้มครองสังคมด้วยกฎหมายโดยมีการรับรองเอากฎหมายหลายฉบับที่สอดคล้องกับหลักการสากลความเป็นจริงของประเทศมีการติดตามกวดกาการจัดตั้งปฏิบัติกฎหมายก็คือการปฏิบัติแผนพัฒนาเศรษฐกิจสังคมแห่งชาติพร้อมทั้งได้สัญญาบัตรให้แก่สนธิสัญญาและสัญญาภาคพื้นสากลที่เป็นการประกอบส่วนสำคัญอย่างตั้งหน้าเข้าในการเสริมสร้างสันติภาพความมั่นคงเสถียรภาพการพัฒนาแบบยืนยงและความอยู่ดีกินดีของประชาชนบรรดาเผ่านอกจากนั้นในเดือนตุลาที่ผ่านมานี้สภาแห่งชาติสปป.ลาวก็ได้สำเร็จการเป็นเจ้าภาพกองประชุมสมัชชาใหญ่ไอปาครั้งที่45ภายใต้หัวข้อที่ว่าบทบาทของรัฐสภาในการสุกยู่การเชื่อมจอดและการเติบโตแบบกวมรวมของอาเซียนซึ่งเป็นการยกสูงบทบาทของรัฐสภาในการสุกยู่ส่งเสริมแผนต่างๆของอาเซียนก้าวไปสู่ประชาคมที่มีความสามัคคีกวมรวมเข้มแข็งเชื่อมโยงเชื่อมจอดทั้งภายในอาเซียนและระหว่างอาเซียนกับภาคพื้นในทั่วโลกแน่ใส่ร่วมกันยกสูงชีวิตการเป็นอยู่ของประชาชนให้ดีขึ้นหัดแคบความแตกต่างกันระดับการพัฒนาและพร้อมการก้าวไปข้างหน้าโดยบ่ทิ่มให้ภัยป้าไว้อยู่เบื้องหลังบรรดาท่านที่นับถือหักแพงในนามต่างหน้าคณะผู้แทนสภาแห่งชาติสปป.ลาวข้าพเจ้าเรียกร้องมายังบรรดาท่านจงเพิ่มทวีการปฏิบัติบทบาทการทูตรัฐสภาในการประสานสมทบซึ่งกันและกันตามกรอบการร่วมมือแบบพหุคีผ่านเวทีรัฐสภาในภาคพื้นและสากลส่งเสริมการเข้าร่วมเวทีปราศัยเวทีปรึกษาหารือรัฐสภาต่างๆเพื่อหัดแน่นการร่วมมือเพื่อการพัฒนาและสุกยู่แก้ไขข้อขัดแย้งโดยสันติวิธีผ่านการพบปะเจรจาปฏิบัติหลักการและกฎหมายสากลที่เป็นการประกอบส่วนสำคัญเข้าในการสร้างสันติภาพยืนยงให้แก่ประชาชนชาวโลก ท้ายนี้ข้าพเจ้าขอบุญไซอประเสริฐมายังบรรดาทานทานหัวหน้าคณะผู้แทนบรรดาทานเข้าร่วมกรมประชุมนี้จงมีสุขภาพเข้มแข็งมีผลสำเร็จในหน้าที่เวียงงานของทานอวยพรให้กองประชุมครั้งนี้จงประสบผลสำเร็จอย่างจงงามขอแสดงความขอบใจ
Thank you very much, Excellency Mr. Kambe Damlat, the Vice President of the National Assembly of Lao PDR, especially highlighting your efforts to become from landlocked to land link. So you have our all supports. Thank you very much. Next, may I invite His Excellency Mr. Ronaldo Gonzalez Praxio, the President of the Foreign Relations Commission on the National Assembly of People's Power of Cuba and the President of Latin American Parliament, Parlamento, to give the remarks. Floor is yours, Excellency.
Distinguidas autoridades, estimados parlamentarios y parlamentarias, vengo desde muy lejos, justo del otro lado del planeta, desde la América Latina y el Caribe. Y en esa región tenemos la experiencia y la suerte de que los jefes de Estado de la comunidad de estados latinoamericanos y caribeños hayan adoptado justo en 2014 la proclama de América Latina como zona de paz. En nombre del Parlamento Latinoamericano y Caribeño, Parlatino, que en los próximos días arribará al 60º aniversario de su fundación, deseo expresar todo nuestro agradecimiento. Gracias mil a los organizadores de esta 11ª sesión plenaria del Parlamento Internacional de Tolerancia y Paz, quienes han permitido que compartamos ideas y dispongamos ya de la Carta de Paz para las personas y el planeta. Gracias mil a las autoridades parlamentarias y gubernamentales del Reino de Camboya por trasladarnos sus experiencias en el difícil arte de construir la paz duradera y emprender el desarrollo, y por toda la hospitalidad recibida. Hoy, como nunca antes, se hace imprescindible la defensa y consolidación del multilateralismo, el apego a la Carta de las Naciones Unidas y al derecho internacional, la cooperación y la asociación para la coexistencia y la conectividad inclusiva. Unos pocos minutos no permiten profundizar en este asunto, pero quiero poner un ejemplo en este camino compartido. Ayer, al final de la tarde, los presidentes del Parlasur, Parlacén y Parlatino tuvimos la oportunidad de reunirnos con la señora Secretaria General de la Asamblea Interparlamentaria de la ASEAN, AIPA, para identificar una hoja de ruta que nos permita avanzar hacia una fórmula interparlamentaria de relacionar ambas regiones geográficas tan distantes. Hasta ahora solo se trata de una aspiración o un sueño que empieza a andar, pero cuando sea una realidad, tendremos que agradecer también a Camboya, al Consejo Global y al Parlamento Internacional de Tolerancia y Paz por habernos facilitado esta conexión cara a cara para dar juntos el primer paso. Estimados y estimadas colegas, nuestra capacidad para conseguir los fines anunciados y ampliar nuestras conexiones y la cooperación pasa por admitir nuestras diversidades y ser capaces de crecer juntos respetándolas. Reitero el total respaldo a la Carta de Paz para las personas y el planeta, al tiempo que, amparado en la experiencia histórica y política latinoamericana y caribeña, y en las décadas de esfuerzo del parlatino en este campo, me permito recordar, al enfocar la muy compleja labor de prevenir conflictos, que no debemos olvidar que también será necesario al menos 3 ejes. 1, promover el desarme nuclear y contribuir al desarme general y completo para propiciar el fortalecimiento de la confianza entre todas las naciones. 2, continuar promoviendo la democracia en las relaciones entre los Estados. Y 3, defender la renuncia a la aplicación de medidas coercitivas unilaterales por ser contrarias al derecho internacional y obstaculizar los esfuerzos dedicados a la implementación de la Agenda 2030 y cuyo impacto retrasa la construcción de sociedades pacíficas sostenibles. Permítanme concluir recordando la confianza que desde el siglo XIX tenía el poeta y libertador José Martí, quien afirmaba: el porvenir es de la paz. Convencidos de que es posible y urgente contar con un porvenir de paz, continuemos el camino en construcción. Juntos y solo juntos podemos alcanzar un mundo mejor para todas y todos. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Ronaldo Gonzalez Parcio, for letting us know about the Cuban experience. Next, may I invite Her Excellency Mrs. Fabina Gabriela Martin, the President of Mercosur Parliament, Parlasur. So, floor is Your Excellency. Let's welcome her.
Buenos días, excelencias, buenos días, autoridades locales, colegas parlamentarios. Antes que nada, agradecer la invitación en nombre del Parlamento que presido por estar acá, por encontrarnos aquí en Camboya debatiendo juntos y tratando de construir un mundo más respetuoso y tolerante. El multilateralismo regional, como el que presenta el Parlasur en sí mismo, conoce desde sus orígenes los beneficios del trabajo mancomunado. El mundo, tal y cual hoy lo vemos, nos marca que todos los esfuerzos que desde aquí pretendamos hacer deben reforzar la acción. Y la acción nunca es una sola. Asegurar la coexistencia y el conocimiento de los factores que ponen en riesgo la paz llevaron al Parlasur a declarar en su última sesión ordinaria, el 11 de noviembre, al Mercosur como zona de paz. Esta declaración no solo busca mantener una situación en beneficio de la calidad de vida de sus habitantes, 280 millones de personas que represento, sino que también busca hacer saber desde la diplomacia parlamentaria preventiva que esta es la voluntad de nuestros pueblos. Busca proteger de cualquier injerencia destructiva y violenta una región que es uno de los pilares fundamentales de la seguridad alimentaria en el mundo. Vivimos en un mundo cada vez más multipolar y menos multilateral. El multilateralismo es el consenso, el acuerdo entre partes sustancialmente diferentes, pero que trabajan en puntos y objetivos comunes. El ejemplo más claro de esto es la Carta de Paz para las Personas y el Planeta que suscribimos en esta oportunidad. Pero apoyar un sistema multilateral de cooperación y asistencia no es una cuestión de fe. Una observación objetiva de la realidad nos dice que el multilateralismo ha coincidido con el periodo más largo de paz, estabilidad y desarrollo humano a escala mundial. No queremos vivir en un mundo regido por la ley del más fuerte, sino en instituciones sólidas, con normas consensuadas y un derecho internacional que dominen el salvajismo de los hombres y construyan la base de la cooperación mundial. Esta columna de multilateralismo que aquí hoy representamos, el multilateralismo parlamentario, es sin duda la columna más sólida y la que mejores resultados debería dar. Aprovechar la fuerza colectiva parlamentaria, profundizando las alianzas, deberían invitarnos a hacer las cosas más distintivas y mejores. Desde Latinoamérica, y como dijo el presidente del Parlatino, los parlamentos regionales buscamos trabajar en sólidas alianzas multilaterales e intercontinentales para abrir puertas de trabajo a una construcción de bienestar de nuestras sociedades sin importar con qué parte del planeta estemos trabajando. Los parlamentos regionales, señoras y señores, son sin duda un elemento fundamental en un mundo donde el consenso entre 193 países es tan difícil. Un mundo tan multipolar y desigual necesita uniones consensuadas, sólidas, que trabajen en paz, que trabajen la tolerancia y el respeto global. Pero además de este mundo tan multilateral, donde tantos factores entran en juego, hay una raíz que debemos fortalecer. Si queremos pensar en un mundo más pacífico, más solidario y colaborativo, con las naciones más vulnerables también, debemos formar generaciones empáticas, conscientes, colaborativas y solidarias. Solo desde la construcción de un nuevo inconsciente colectivo mundial vamos a poder ver plasmada la realidad de un mundo diferente. Debemos ocuparnos de todas las aristas, como bien describe la Carta de Paz que suscribimos hoy, pero debemos ser conscientes que el trabajo más desafiante es ir en búsqueda de una educación y el ejemplo que inocule los valores y principios que el mundo ha perdido. Si no tenemos humanos con paz en su alma y en su corazón, no tendremos nunca, jamás, esa realidad reflejada en el mundo que vivimos. Si no buscamos educar a esas generaciones que decidan en apenas unas décadas este mundo, nos encontraremos con una realidad más hostil, más intolerante que la que tenemos hoy. Por último, señoras y señores, entiendo que hay algo que todos hoy mismo podemos empezar a hacer por la paz. Alguien dijo que el camino para la paz no existe, que la paz es el camino. Y realmente creo y espero que este evento no sea uno más en nuestras carreras, sino que a partir de la finalización de este evento, en nuestro ámbito civil, en nuestro ámbito político, nuestras decisiones estén basadas en esos principios de respeto, tolerancia y paz. Soy una convencida que solo así, yo desde Argentina, en América del Sur, otros desde Europa, otros desde África, otros desde Asia, otros desde Oceanía, que tomen decisiones personales, civiles o políticas basadas en el respeto, sin duda es la única manera de construir a partir de hoy mismo un mundo mejor. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Fabina Gabriela Martin, for especially reiterating your support to Peace Charter and also highlighting the importance of multilateralism. Thank you so much. It's my great honor to invite His Excellency Mr. Gustavo Pacheco, the President of the Andean Parliament, Parlandino, representing the 5 parliaments. So, Excellency, the floor is yours.
Mr. President, I am very happy in this land because there are very leaders of the planet, of the whole planet. We have very happy because Cambodia is today a flight of the peace, world peace, and we have in Andean Parliament 5 countries: Peru, Chile, Bolivia, Ecuador, Colombia. Our have in our land 5 millennials of course and the civilization in our land, Andean, Caral, Chavín de Huántar, Tiahuanaco, Tahuantinsuyo, Virreinato del Perú. We have 5 millennials of civilization, and it's for that we have a dream. A dream is work together, co-working. Today is very important, work together, co-working, all the planet. Permítame hablar en nuestro idioma, en español. Nosotros, en la civilización de los incas, teníamos únicamente 3 mandatos en nuestra constitución: Amasúa, Amayuya, Amaqueya. No seas ladrón, no seas ocioso, no seas mentiroso. Solo 3 mandamientos. Y acudo, señorías, excelencias, desde América Latina, con enorme cariño, veo a todos nuestros parlamentarios y congresistas que trabajan junto con nosotros por la paz mundial. El Parlatino, el Parlasur, el Parlamento Andino, aquí estamos. Quiero saludar en especial a 3 damas de América Latina que están presentes y que personifican el compromiso de las mujeres de América Latina con la paz. La doctora Restrepo, de Colombia, la saludo con enorme respeto, la presidenta Fabiana, de Parlasur, y mi presidenta del Congreso del Perú, Mari Carmen Alba. Aquí estamos desde América Latina construyendo la paz. Segunda parte y breve. Perú hace una semana ha tenido la cumbre de APEC, la tercera cumbre de APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. 21 economías, 21 líderes de las economías más dinámicas del Asia-Pacífico. Allí ha estado Rusia, allí ha estado Estados Unidos, allí ha estado presente, como no, China, Japón, Corea del Sur. Y ahí ha estado el presidente Joe Biden y el presidente Xi Jinping, trabajando por la cooperación, por el libre comercio. Pero nosotros hemos venido aquí a Camboya a suscribir acuerdos, como han dicho mis presidentes anteriores, con ASEAN. Nosotros hemos venido a Camboya para quedarnos. Nosotros queremos quedarnos desde América Latina en este encuentro con ASEAN, ambos lugares, ambas orillas. Y por esta razón, así como Latinoamérica tiene una asamblea con el Parlamento Europeo, así también Necesitamos una asamblea con África, pero también con Asia. ASEAN-LAC tiene que ser una realidad para trabajar juntos, para que esta no sea una visita que olvidemos. Tenemos un sueño de forjar nuestra unidad bajo la diplomacia parlamentaria. Y los invitamos a que vengan a América Latina. Y allí los vamos a recibir para trabajar por la paz. ¿Qué es la paz? La vida. ¿Qué es la guerra? La muerte. Hay un compositor argentino de América Latina, León Gieco, que habla acerca de la guerra y dice: solo le pido a Dios que la guerra no me sea indiferente. Es un monstruo grande y pisa fuerte toda la pobre inocencia de la gente. Muchísimas gracias por la invitación. Viva la paz, viva la vida, viva el amor.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Gustavo Pacheco, the President of Andean Parliament, for your important remarks. Next, may I invite, we have two important leaders. They are joining us through their video message. First of all, I'd like to ask His Excellency Mr. Nemeth Gisolt, the Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the National Assembly of Hungary, to give his remarks through video.
Honorable President Al-Jarvan, distinguished members of the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, it is a great pleasure to greet you on behalf of the Hungarian Parliament at the 11th plenary session of IPTP. The work carried out by the IPTP and by each of you as its members is truly invaluable. In recent years, the world has regrettably become a more precarious place. Following a period of relative calm, war is again becoming more and more a part of our lives. For us in Central Europe, the turning point was the onset of the war between Russia and Ukraine in the February of 2022. But sadly, there are several other ongoing military conflicts in the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and elsewhere. This trend has to be reversed. National governments bear a significant share of responsibility, and Hungary remains deeply committed to the cause of peace, as reflected in her conduct of the ongoing rotating presidency of the European Union Council. Yet, international efforts are no less essential. We have greatly appreciated and highly value the joint initiative of the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace and the National Assembly of Cambodia to organize a consultative meeting on the Peace Charter for People and the Planet document in Budapest 2 months ago. This meeting was not only highly successful, but also an outstanding demonstration of parliamentary diplomacy and friendship among us. The Hungarian Parliament wholeheartedly welcomes the call to strengthen cooperation between Asia and other parts of the world, including Europe, on peace. The United Nations Charter, the Bandung Declaration, and the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia form a robust foundation upon which we can build. The Peace Charter can be a valuable addition to this set of documents. It fosters the culture of dialogue, tolerance, and collaboration among peace-loving nations and the international community. emphasizing the role of diplomacy and mediation as means of conflict resolution, while also addressing important issues such as transitional justice and interreligious dialogue, among others. In a war-mongering climate, support for pro-peace voices is even more precious. On behalf of the Hungarian National Assembly, I am glad to establish formal links with IPTP and extend our gratitude to the National Assembly of Cambodia and particularly to its Commission on Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Information for its tireless efforts in expanding and reinforcing the international network of peace advocating forces. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Nimit Sol, the Chairman of Foreign Affairs Committee from Hungary, and congratulations for formally establishing IPTP, and also we really appreciate you for hosting our Peace Charter consultation in Budapest, Hungary. Next, I'd like to invite His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Al-Mahi, the President of Arab Parliament, to give his special remarks through video message.
معالي الأخ العزيز أحمد بن محمد الجروان رئيس المجلس العالمي للتسامح والسلام، معالي السيد سيوس يارا رئيس البرلمان الدولي للتسامح والسلام، الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يطيب لي بداية أن أعرب عن اعتزازي وتقديري الكبير لمخاطبة مقاماتكم الكريمة في أعمال الجلسة العامة 11 للبرلمان الدولي للتسامح والسلام، وقد كان بودي المشاركة معكم حضوريا في هذا الحدث العالمي الهام لولا بعض الظروف الطارئة التي حالت دون ذلك. ويشرفني أن أنقل إليكم تحيات أعضاء البرلمان العربي، وأتشرف بأن يتزامن انعقاد جلستكم هذه مع بداية تشرفي بتولي رئاسة البرلمان العربي، الأمر الذي أعتبره فرصة مهمة لتعزيز علاقات التعاون والتنسيق بين البرلمان العربي والبرلمان الدولي للتسامح والسلام. وأود في هذا السياق أن أثمن الجهود الحثيثة التي يقوم بها المجلس العالمي للتسامح والسلام بقيادة الأخ العزيز معالي أحمد بن محمد الجروان من أجل ترسيخ ثقافة التسامح ونشر قيم المحبة والسلام. الحضور الكريم، تنعقد هذه الجلسة في وقت نحتاج فيه أكثر من أي وقت مضى إلى نشر قيم التسامح والعدل والمساواة ونبذ التعصب والتصدي لخطاب الكراهية من أجل تحقيق السلام والاستقرار على كافة المستويات الإقليمية والعالمية، خاصة في ظل ما يواجه عالمنا من تحديات متشابكة وصراعات ونزاعات عديدة تغذي انتشار العنف والفكر المتطرف والعنصرية وكراهية الآخر، وهو ما يجعل العمل على تعزيز لغة الحوار والتعارف والتعايش السلمي بين مختلف الثقافات والأديان والحضارات أولوية ملحة على كافة المستويات. ولا شك في أننا نحن البرلمانيون ممثلي الشعوب تقع على عاتقنا مسؤولية كبيرة في نشر قيم التسامح والسلام في شتى المجالات السياسية والقانونية والتنموية والاجتماعية والتربوية، من أجل حماية الأجيال الحالية والقادمة من الوقوع في شراك التعصب والتطرف والفكر الظلامي الذي تتبناه التنظيمات المتطرفة. وأود أن أنتهز هذه الفرصة لأدعو باسم البرلمان العربي إلى تعزيز التعاون بين البرلمانات الإقليمية والدولية من أجل العمل البرلماني المشترك، لكي تكون هناك تشريعات دولية تعزز من ثقافة التسامح على المستوى العالمي. وبالتوازي مع ذلك يجب أن تعمل البرلمانات الوطنية كذلك على سن قوانين متطورة ومعاصرة تساهم في ترسيخ هذه الثقافة وتوفر الضمانات اللازمة لحمايتها. الحضور الكريم، منذ أيام قليلة احتفل العالم باليوم الدولي للتسامح الذي دعت الجمعية العامة للأمم المتحدة إلى الاحتفال به في يوم 16 نوفمبر من كل عام، وذلك من خلال تشجيع قيم التسامح والاحترام والحوار والتعاون فيما بين مختلف الثقافات والحضارات والشعوب. وللأسف الشديد جاء الاحتفال بتلك المناسبة هذا العام في ظل أوضاع مأساوية يعيشها الشعب الفلسطيني الذي يتعرض على مدار أكثر من عام لحرب إبادة جماعية ومجازر وحشية وسياسة تجويع لم يشهد التاريخ مثيلا لها. ولا شك في أن الجرائم والمجازر التي يقوم بها كيان الاحتلال في الأراضي الفلسطينية المحتلة وكذلك عدوانه الغاشم على لبنان إنما تزرع وتغذي التعصب والعنف والكراهية في نفوس الأجيال الحالية والقادمة، وما تقوم به آلية القتل والتدمير في أيام وشهور تستمر تداعياته لسنوات وعقود. لذلك أنتهز فرصة انعقاد هذه الجلسة الهامة وأدعوكم إلى أن يصدر عنها نداء إلى المجتمع الدولي لكي يستيقظ من غفلته التي امتدت لأكثر من عام، وأن يعمل على الوقف الفوري لهذه الجرائم التي راح ضحيتها الآلاف من الأبرياء وسلبتهم حقهم في الحياة، وأن ينتصر للإنسانية وقيم التسامح التي تنتهك يوميا على أيدي قوات الاحتلال الإسرائيلي في فلسطين ولبنان. الحضور الكريم، إن البرلمان الدولي للتسامح والسلام والذي يضم برلمانيين من مختلف أنحاء العالم يتحمل مسؤولية كبيرة من أجل إعلاء قيم التسامح والتعايش السلمي ونبذ كافة مظاهر العنف والتطرف. وفي هذا السياق يطيب لي أن أثمن باسم البرلمان العربي إطلاق الميثاق العالمي للتسامح الذي سوف يصدر عن جلستكم هذه، ونتطلع إلى أن يكون هذا الميثاق نواة رئيسية في بلورة تشريعات دولية ووضع إطار عالمي لتعزيز وترسيخ ثقافة التسامح، كما ندعو كافة البرلمانات الوطنية إلى مراجعة وتحديث قوانينها الوطنية ذات الصلة استرشادا بالمبادئ والأحكام الواردة في هذا الميثاق. وفي الختام أؤكد أن البرلمان العربي سيظل داعما لكافة الجهود المخلصة التي تهدف إلى تعزيز وترسيخ ثقافة التسامح والتعايش السلمي، كما يؤكد على ضرورة تبادل الخبرات الوطنية والدولية في هذا المجال لتعظيم الاستفادة منها على أوسع نطاق ممكن. أشكركم على حسن الاستماع، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Mohammad Al-Nam Mahi, for extending the solidarity of Arab Parliament for tolerance and peace, as well as Universal Peace Charter. Next, we'd like to hear from some of our experts on today's this session topic, Solidifying Multilateralism, Cooperation and Partnership for Coexistence and Inclusive Connectivity. The first expert we have, and I'd like to invite Her Excellency Mrs. Margarita Restrepo, the Chairperson of the General Assembly of GCTP and also co-chair of this session, for her special experts remark. Your Excellency, floor is yours.
Quiero extender un afectuoso saludo el día de hoy. Excelencias, las sociedades tienen derecho a buscar los mecanismos para vivir en calma. Los azotados pueblos, en especial los que han sido víctimas de violencia, buscan de manera incansable los caminos de la cordialidad. Y somos las mujeres quienes hemos demostrado tener un papel crucial en los esfuerzos de consolidación de la paz. en la reinstitucionalización de la democracia, en la exigencia de la plena garantía de los derechos de cada ser humano. La mujer es por naturaleza la gran deshumanizadora de la sociedad. Somos dadoras de vida, de esperanza, no solamente por nuestra capacidad de conciliar y de liderar un hogar, sino también por esa habilidad innata de superar obstáculos. Obstáculos como los estereotipos, el machismo, la violencia contra la mujer y la exclusión de los espacios políticos y de poder. Muchas de nosotras hemos dedicado nuestra vida profesional a construir un mejor mundo para nuestros hijos y hijas. Y para eso les hemos enseñado tanto a ellos como a ellas a luchar por ellas. He for she, por nuestras mujeres. Y es en ese camino donde tuve la fortuna de encontrarme un líder filántropo árabe que está convencido que los derechos de las mujeres deben ser reconocidos y valorados, transformando la realidad social, política y económica para que nosotras podamos avanzar en mejores condiciones y mejorar la calidad de vida de toda una sociedad. Porque si una mujer está bien, toda la familia está bien, toda la sociedad a su vez también estará bien. Soy testimonio vivo y por eso con convicción, respeto y admiración me paro hoy frente a ustedes y les digo que me llena de orgullo pertenecer al Consejo Global de la Tolerancia y la Paz, ya que es la plataforma a través de la cual la mujer de todo el mundo tiene un espacio para alzar nuestra voz, para expresar nuestra opinión y nuestra creatividad y fomentar una verdadera cultura transformadora de paz. Somos nosotras las mujeres y los niños las mayores víctimas de la violencia y de las guerras. Y por esa razón somos nosotras las primeras que debemos empuñar las banderas de la tolerancia, de la educación, del hambre cero. Las mujeres nos fijamos objetivos claros de construcción. Siempre estamos edificando, construyendo, pensando en el mañana. Por eso creo firmemente que nos merecemos la oportunidad de competir en igualdad de condiciones, ya que el resultado de esta carrera va a ser un mundo, ese mundo que todos soñamos. Dentro de esa búsqueda, el Consejo Global de la Tolerancia y la Paz es nuestro aliado natural. Su Excelencia Al-Jarwan. Tengo la certeza que si alguien en la historia moderna ha esparcido la semilla de la paz, es usted, a través de la promoción de los derechos de las mujeres, de los valores de respeto, tolerancia, inclusión y equidad. Tengo la ilusión de que los liderazgos femeninos que usted ha impulsado desde el GCTP contribuyan a la eliminación de las barreras contra el desarrollo de la mujer, pero en especial que brinden soluciones efectivas a los conflictos que nos roban la paz que tanto anhelamos. Aprovecho este espacio para agradecer una vez más todo lo que usted hace día a día, sin que la mayoría de nosotros nos percatemos, para poder dar a las futuras generaciones un mundo en paz. Ese es el verdadero amor por la humanidad. Gracias. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mrs. Margarita Restrepo, especially highlighting the role of women in gender-based peace building. We really appreciate. Next, may I invite His Excellency Mr. Kim Dong-ryong, the President of Global Korean Network Foundation for Peace and Prosperity, to highlight your remarks on post-conflict reconstruction in the Korea. Your Excellency.
안녕하십니까. 한국에서 온 김덕용입니다. 귀한 자리에 초대해 주신 아흐메드 빈 모하메드 알자르완 국제관용과 평화의회 의장님과 수수하라 외교위원장님께 깊이 감사드립니다. 그리고 자리를 함께 해주신 내외 귀빈 여러분께도 감사의 인사를 드립니다. 오늘 국제회의를 주최한 관용과 평화를 위한 의회는 글로벌 관용과 평화협의회의 입법기관으로 그동안 식량 안보, 폭력적 극단주의, 기후변화 등 인류가 직면한 중요한 의제를 제기하고 그 대응책을 모색해 왔습니다. 여러분의 이런 노력이 캄보디아를 넘어서 국제 평화와 발전에 소중한 밑거름이 될 것으로 확신하며 진심으로 응원을 보냅니다. 오늘 우리는 공존과 평화, 포용적 연결성을 위한 다자주의 협력 및 파트너십 강화라는 주제를 논의하기 위해 이 자리에 모였습니다. 이 주제는 이 시대가 요구하는 핵심 과제이자 우리가 마주하고 있는 다양한 도전들에 대한 해답을 담고 있습니다. 지금 인류는 끊임없는 도전과 발전의 길을 걸어왔습니다. 특히 21세기에 들어서면서 과학기술의 비약적인 발전에 힘입어서 전례 없는 속도로 변화를 겪고 있습니다. 하지만 이러한 진보와 함께 인류는 지금까지 경험하지 못한 새로운 도전 과제에 직면해 있습니다. 기후변화에 따른 환경과 식량 위기 문제, 동유럽과 중동 전쟁을 비롯한 지정학적 분쟁과 평화 문제, 보호무역 강화와 경제 불평등 심화와 같은 경제 문제, 코로나19 팬데믹 사례가 보여준 보건 문제 등 다양한 과제들이 우리 앞에 놓여 있습니다. 인류의 지속 가능한 발전을 위협하는 이러한 글로벌 도전 과제는 어느 한 나라만의 힘으로 해결될 수 없습니다. 국제사회와 함께 연대하고 협력해야만 해결 가능한 과제입니다. 따라서 글로벌 도전 과제에 대응하는 데 가장 중요한 원칙은 국제적 협력의 범위를 넓히고 포용적 연결성을 강화하는 것입니다. 우리는 다자주의 원칙 아래 각국이 동등한 파트너로 참여하여 문제 해결을 위해 노력할 수 있는 구조를 만들어 나가야 합니다. 특히 개발도상국과 소외된 국가들이 배제되지 않고 글로벌 이슈 해결의 주체로 참여할 수 있어야만 하겠습니다. 제가 개인적으로 주목하는 것은 포용적 연결성입니다. 포용적 연결성은 포용적 성장의 기초입니다. 발전과 성장의 기회와 혜택을 모든 나라가 공평하게 누릴 수 있어야만 합니다. 그래야만 국제사회의 진정한 공존과 협력도 가능합니다. 대한민국은 한국전쟁 직후인 1953년 1인당 국민소득이 67달러의 세계 최빈국이었지만은 지금은 4만 달러를 눈앞에 두고 있습니다. 유엔 무역개발회의 웅크타드 설립 이래 최초로 개발도상국에서 선진국 지위를 인정받은 나라가 되었고, 내년도 공적개발 원조 즉 ODA도 6조 7천억 원으로 확대할 계획으로 있습니다. 대한민국이 이처럼 발전한 배경에는 미국과 유엔을 비롯한 국제사회의 도움과 협력이 큰 역할을 했습니다. 그 덕분에 20세기 후반 자유진영의 발전과 번영의 혜택을 함께 누릴 수가 있었습니다. 저는 그런 기회가 지금의 개도국과 후발국에게도 그대로 적용되어야 하며 이를 위한 국제 협약과 규범을 더욱 강화해야 한다고 생각합니다. 다음으로 저는 과학기술의 혁신과 공유를 강조하고 싶습니다. 오늘날 인류가 직면한 도전 과제들을 극복하기 위해서는 과학기술 혁신이 가장 유용한 수단입니다. 대부분의 과제들이 과학기술을 통해 해결책을 찾을 수밖에 없기 때문입니다. 과학기술 혁신도 국가 간 공동 연구와 협력이 필수적입니다. 갈수록 과학기술 R&D 투자 비용은 커지고 도전 과제들은 과거에 비해 훨씬 복잡하게 연결되어 있기 때문에 한 국가만의 노력과 투자로는 대응이 어렵습니다. 따라서 글로벌 과학기술 플랫폼을 활용해서 정보를 공유하면서 공동 연구와 기술 개발을 추진하고 그 성과를 개도국을 비롯한 국제사회에 이전하고 공유할 수 있는 국제사회 노력이 꼭 필요하다고 생각합니다. 저는 1970년에 정치권에 뛰어들어서 국회의원 5선과 정무장관을 지내면서 한국의 정치 발전을 위해 노력해 왔습니다. 제가 정치 이외에 가장 관심을 두었던 분야가 과학기술인데, 과학기술이 곧 21세기 국가 경쟁력 강화와 직결되어 있다고 생각했기 때문입니다. 그래서 1994년 우리나라 국회에 처음으로 연구단체 제도가 도입되었을 때 곧바로 국회 과학기술연구회를 창립했습니다. 국회 내에 유일한 과학기술 분야 연구회였는데 나는 의정 활동을 마감한 2008년까지 이 연구회 회장을 맡아서 과학기술 발전을 위한 정책 수립이나 예산 지원을 적극 뒷받침했습니다. 저는 이제 과학기술 발전이 일국의 국경을 넘어 인류의 공동 번영에 기여해야 하고 그럴 수밖에 없는 환경이 조성되었다고 생각합니다. 이를 위한 국제 규범이 조속히 마련되기를 바랍니다. 마지막으로 이 자리에 계신 여러분도 다자주의와 협력, 포용적 연결성을 위한 지속적인 노력을 부탁드립니다. 빨리 가려면 혼자 가고 멀리 가려면 함께 가라는 아프리카 속담이 있습니다. 우리는 인류 공동의 번영을 위해 함께 가야만 합니다. 오늘 이 자리에서 여러분이 나누는 지혜와 통찰이 더 나은 세계를 만들어가는데 훌륭한 길잡이가 되기를 기대합니다. 감사합니다. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Kim Dong-rong, for sharing Korea's remarkable progress in short period of time. It's really inspiration for all of us. Next, may I invite His Excellency Mr. Chem Keith Rithi, the Senior Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia, to share for man-machine peaceful coexistence in digital era. Your Excellency Mr. Chem Keith Rithi, let's welcome.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Chairs, distinguished colleagues. We have talked a lot about conflict between humans and conflict between nations. But I'd like to share with you an equally important looming at the horizon is the conflict between human, men and machines. If you look at the three slides here, On the right side, you have one in black and white and red and color. The bottom is a familiar picture of the atomic bomb that had been dropped on the 6th and the 9th of August 1945 in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. That's a man and machine conflict. The second one at the top is the nuclear disaster in Fukushima. The explosion is not a nuclear explosion. It's not a chain reaction that people tend to think. Actually, it's an explosion of the hydrogen that is much less serious than the nuclear fission. On the right here is a hope of the future. Nuclear technology has been a threat for us in the 20th century and still a threat for us now. But looming now at the horizon is the AI technology. It's same thing, dual technology that can be a friend and can be a very serious threat to our humanity. And this wonderful, distinguished old man chatting with an intelligent robot is what we should aim for. So humanity has faced, go to the next slide, humanity has faced conflicts between individuals and nations, but a far greater threat now looms, the conflict between men and machines. With the nuclear war at risk, even in the near future, AI's rise, our very existence is at stake. With profound humility and gratitude, I begin this talk reflecting on the immense honor of receiving the Dr. Nagai Memorial Peace Award 2024. This recognition acknowledges my contribution to mitigating the Fukushima nuclear disaster with a steadfast commitment to protecting lives and environment from the effects of radiation. This recognition inspired by the life and legacy of Dr. Takashi Nagai, a pioneer in blending science, ethics, and community, and humanity, resonate profoundly with the theme of man-machine coexistence. This honor also serves as a poignant reminder of the dual legacy of nuclear technology, its devastating use in the atomic bomb, and its potential to foster peace through responsible scientific advancement and a compassionate leadership. Just as Dr. Nagai dedicated himself to improving medical care for the victims of the atomic bombings while championing peace, our pursuit of harmony between human and machines must be rooted in ethical principles, mutual respect, and a shared vision for a brighter future. This topic, man-machine coexistence, is not just theoretical, but deeply practical, reflecting the challenges and opportunities we face in building a world where technological progress serves the greater good. Whether in the context of nuclear safety, artificial intelligence, or medical innovation, the principles of collaboration, adaptability, and ethics are indispensable to ensuring that humanity and technology evolve together in ways that uphold our shared values and foster a global peace. In an age defined by the confluence of human ingenuity and technological advancement, humanity finds itself at the crossroad of chance to harmonize its relationship with machines or risk discord that threaten societal cohesion. The aspiration of man-machine peaceful coexistence emphasizes the vision where human and machine capabilities are not merely compatible, but deeply intertwined, fostering mutual dependence, ethical alignment, and continual progress. If you look at the symbiosis across areas, imagine the 1940s, Manhattan Project, humans using rudimentary computing machines to crack complex equations that shaped the outcome of World War II. Machines, limited but precise, complemented the strategic thinking of scientists like Oppenheimer. However, the culmination of this effort led to the devastating use of atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, claiming the lives of hundreds of thousands of civilians. This tragic chapter underscores the dual-edged nature technological progress, its potential to both save and destroy, highlighting the ethical responsibility that must accompany any innovation. By the 1980s, robotics arm had transformed automobile assembly lines, enhanced production efficiency, while still requiring human oversight to maintain quality standards. In nuclear power plants today, automated systems seamlessly regulate energy production. These machines, programmed for efficiency, alert human operators during anomalies, averting potential disasters in environments humans safeguard, and machine logic with ethical judgment, creating a harmony that defines what I call symbiosis here. If you look at how to adapt through those crises, in March 2011, the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster challenged this coexistence. Machines failed to predict the cascading effects of the earthquake and the tsunami, but in the aftermath, the collaboration deepened. Advanced AI-driven safety protocols now monitor reactors worldwide, incorporating lessons learned from Fukushima. Humans and machines evolved together, responding dynamically to emergent risks. A decade ago, on the 6th August of 2014, I penned a testimony on the website of the Prime Minister of Japan to honor the heroic radiation expert who stood on the frontier against an invisible and insidious threat, drawing inspiration from Galileo's words, quote, "If you could see the earth illuminated when you were in a place as dark as night, it would look to you more splendid than the moon," unquote. I reflected on the resilience of these medical and radiation professionals. Their response to the Fukushima disaster, in an ordeal as harrowing as deepest night, illuminate the world with their courage and humanity. Their unwavering dedication stand as a beacon of hope, compassion, and peace for all. In the 21st century, adaptation became evident in the medical field. Robotic surgeons like the Da Vinci system provide unmatched precision, guided by the steady hands of a capable human operators, the neurosurgeon. Machines adapt to human inputs, while surgeons learn to optimize their interventions based on real-time data provided by the machines. And look now at how the feedback loops can help us to take the path of refinement. The iterative learning of machines has striking parallel in history. Consider the Enigma machine during World War II. Alan Turing's team created early algorithms to decipher enemy codes, but these needed continuous refinement based on daily intelligence updates. The process of feedback loop echoes today in AI systems like autonomous vehicles. Sensors gather data from millions of rides, feeding it back to algorithms, ensuring a safer journey for all of us. In the arts, AI programs like OpenAI DALL-E create vivid imagery from textual prompts, improving over time through user feedback. The system mirrors the dynamic refinement process between painters and canvas, iterating until perfection. Now, how about the ethical evolution? From the Luddite of the 19th century, smashing machine looms to protest against job loss, to the AI bias scandals of the 21st century, ethical challenges have shadowed technological progress. Yet, humanity learns and evolves. For instance, in the 1980s, medical imaging, myself being a radiologist, we faced skepticism about radiation risk. How over decades, through public trust build and regulatory alignment, imaging technology like PET scan transformed into an indispensable diagnostic tool. In AI, tech companies now embed fairness audits into their algorithms, ensuring decision whether hiring, recommendation, or loan approvals respect societal values. This ethical alignment is critical as machine influence lives on unprecedented scales. How to master or partner with machine, shifting dynamics. Imagine a lifetime from ancient tools to modern integration, Stone Age human wielding flint knives, Industrial Revolution workers mastering steam engines, and today office workers collaborating with AI assistants like ChatGPT. As these tools grow in complexity, the relationship shift from mastery to partnership. Myself, for the last 2 years, I undertake all my daily tasks using ChatGPT in almost 90% of my activities. So the time has changed. In the near future, imagine farmers equipped with exoskeletons for labor-intensive tasks, or educators using AI tutors that adapt to individual students' levels. Machines no longer serve merely as tools, they have become collaborators as human endeavors. Now, last point is to look how would be the implication for policy frameworks in the digital era founded on a shared responsibility. In the digital era, policy frameworks face unprecedented challenges and opportunities. History has shown that regulation often lags behind technological innovation. The 15th century printing press disrupted power structures, yet governance frameworks emerged only decades later. Similarly, the rapid pace of digital transformation today, spurred by artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Internet of Things, demand proactive and agile policymaking to ensure these technologies serve society equitably. Governments worldwide are now grappling with setting ethical guidelines for emerging technologies such as autonomous vehicles, AI-driven healthcare, and facial recognition systems. These frameworks must prioritize transparency, fairness, accountability, ensuring that technology aligned with public values and safety. For instance, self-driving cars require ethical decision-making models to navigate life and death scenarios, highlighting the intersection of technology and moral philosophy. In the digital age, AI enhances climate modeling, empowering nations to implement evidence-based policy that align with sustainable development goals. Such collaboration between human and intelligent systems exemplify how technology can support adaptive governance to address global challenges. As we stand at the crossroad of technological innovation and societal impact, we must view technology as neither a threat nor an infallible solution, but a power tool. When guided with shared values, ethical frameworks, and inclusive policies, it can amplify human ingenuity to solve pressing issues and unlock unprecedented opportunities. The imperative is clear: lead with foresight, innovate with responsibility, and act with unity. By fostering a culture of trust, transparency, and cooperation, we can achieve man-machine peaceful cooperations, a future where technology complements humanity, advancing peace, dignity, and prosperity for all. Let's embrace this shared mission as stewards of the digital age. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Senior Minister from the Kingdom of Cambodia, Chem Rithi, for enlightening us about the peaceful coexistence in this digital era. Next, may I invite Mr. Amir Goraya, the head of the governance of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and he will enlighten us about sustainable development in response to climate change. Mr. Amir Goraya, please. Let's welcome him.
Thank you very much, honorable parliamentarians, distinguished delegates, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the first senior vice president of the National Assembly of Cambodia. Also, I would like to start by welcoming, all the participants. I've been in Cambodia for 6 months now, and working closely with the royal government of Cambodia and the kingdom officials. I think it's been a pleasure for me to be in this beautiful country, and I really want to appreciate the way honorable delegates have said things about Cambodia's vision of multilateralism, peace, and bringing people together and the nations together and the representatives of the nations from all over the world. I'm also very pleased to go into a bit of the detail of multilateralism. It perfectly blends into what the earlier speakers have said about the connection, from a developing nation to be a developed nation, and also man versus the machine, and how this modern era, I guess all of this blends into, the more need for multilateralism, the more, moving away from isolation and, looking at the broader picture. UNDP's vision on multilateralism, cooperation, and partnership. UNDP, we define multilateralism as a collective effort to address global challenges through cooperation among countries, international organizations, and stakeholders. This approach is key to achieving sustainable development goals and overcoming shared global challenges, such as climate change, inequality, and conflict. Cooperation and partnership, according to us, goes beyond just working together. It's about creating inclusive partnerships that leverage diverse expertise, resources, and perspectives. This is essential for addressing the interconnected challenges which the world faces today. UNDP emphasizes that partnerships are not just with governments, but also with the private sector, civil society, and other development organizations. And this is, where we try to create platforms to bring everybody together. Our administrator, Mr. Achim Steiner, lays a particular emphasis on multilateralism, and he, also on multiple occasions have said that multilateralism is, is the key in tackling the global challenges. What are the tools which UNDP and the United Nations and the UN family, it uses towards the approaches towards the multilateral cooperation? First of all, knowledge sharing across the countries, across the globe. UNDP facilitates the exchange of knowledge, experiences, good practices between countries, ensuring that solutions developed in one context can be adapted and scaled in the others. I think this is key, and we use the peer-to-peer learning approaches to take those solutions from one country to the other country. That not only promotes multilateralism, but also enhances the collaboration between the different nations. And I must say here that the parliamentary fora across the world, being the representatives of the people of a country, play a very key role in such collaboration. Facilitating access to global financing. We try to play a role where we facilitate the countries in connecting with the global financing mechanisms like the Global Environment Facility and the Green Climate Fund. These funds support projects that contribute to addressing climate change, biodiversity loss, and environmental challenges. I think this is, UNDP is one of the largest implementers of the Green Climate Fund, and we also play a very important role. Many of you would have seen, the COP29 very recently in Azerbaijan, and the way, that was UN's response to climate change, and I guess, it plays an increasing role in bringing the countries together. Building capacities for access to markets. One of our key goals is to help countries build the necessary capacity to access global technologies and sustainable agriculture. This helps countries to transition to green economies and tap into new markets for sustainable products. I'll just give you an example of LDC transition work. In the least developed countries, UNDP supports efforts to strengthen institutional capacities, enabling countries to effectively manage their transition out of the LDC status while fostering sustainable development and uplifting the economic development. I would just like to suggest also in the end of the presentation, we have a slide on all the linkages, all the links to the information which is available on the UNDP website and also on the other UN websites, which actually speak in detail to all of what I'm just presenting in front of you. I would like to share a little bit about the UNDP's role or the work in the Kingdom of Cambodia. We primarily work on knowledge sharing, capacity building in Cambodia. We have supported the sharing of best practices and policy solutions with other countries in the region, helping Cambodia integrate into sustainable development strategies and into, also supporting the sustainable development goals into the national planning frameworks of the kingdom. Financing mechanisms, as I've already said, like the other countries of the world, UNDP supports also Cambodia in accessing funding from the GCF and the JEF. We have facilitated, for peer-to-peer learning, we have facilitated Cambodia's participation in regional and global forums for exchange of ideas with other nations about sustainable practices, clean energy technologies, and inclusive development. And also, we are working closely with our colleagues in supporting transition to green growth. I think I would just like to say, with the, a bit of opportunities, for Cambodia in the post-LDC context. There is a detailed information about how we have supported, Cambodia in terms of the LDC context and how we think. But I think just one thing I'll mention, you'll find the detailed information on the slides in the link. But I think one thing I mention is that with the LDC graduation, comes also some challenges which the nations would need to address. For example, from somewhat, relaxed global, conditions, we have to graduate into the conditions where, we'll have to have a more stringent, regulatory mechanisms. I think the technology transfer in clean energy and mobility, as Cambodia transitions to more sustainable growth, technology transfer will play a critical role. UNDP supports the introduction of clean technologies, particularly in the energy sector, solar, wind, and hydropower, and in sustainability, in sustainable mobility solutions like electric vehicles and public transportation systems. And I guess this is also important. Cambodia is one of the countries which really have a very strong mechanism when it comes to, let's say, the vehicle import and about the emissions, so which is I think, great news. Also, learning on SDGs localization is one of the key things which we do in Cambodia. Cambodia is focusing on SDGs localization to ensure that sustainable development goals are achieved at the national and local levels. This includes tailoring global SDGs to fit Cambodia's context, creating local ownership, and ensuring the active participation of the communities at the subnational level. Inclusive connectivity. Like the earlier experts have, laid the foundation for this. I think I'll say a few things, and I'm also very pleased to see, our UNESCO representative here, Sardar Umar Alam, who work very closely with the government on the artificial intelligence and ethics of the artificial intelligence, and the whole UN family actually, supports the Royal Government of Cambodia on that. Digital infrastructure development, UNDP supports the development of digital infrastructure, including broadband networks and digital platforms to ensure that everyone has access to the internet and digital technologies, regardless of their gender, religion, or community. This helps bridge the digital divide and empower individuals and communities. Second is digital skills development. We invest in digital skills training and education programs to equip people with the knowledge and skills they need to participate in the digital economy. UNDP's particular emphasis on the digital footprint is the inclusion, is that, digital technology is inclusive and it goes out to everybody and to the most marginalized of the communities as well. Digital governance, this is one of, I would say, I would indicate also the preference areas of the Royal Government of Cambodia, the pentagonal strategy of the government. It mostly talks about, digitalizing of the services and having more efficiency in service delivery through the governance reform. We promote good governance in the digital age, supporting the development of digital policies and regulations that protect human rights, promote transparency, and ensure equitable access to digital services. And I think last two things are digital innovation and digital finance. We promote the use of digital financial services such as, mobile money and also digital payments. And I guess, Cambodia also is quite advanced in that, and we also try to, support in that. We will in the future foster innovation and entrepreneurship in the digital space, supporting the development of digital solutions to address social and economic challenges, and this includes, supporting the startups which we have done successfully in many countries of the world. If we can go to the next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. So this is just a snapshot. The presentation is available with the organizers. This is just a snapshot of what UNDP does in Cambodia: economic diversification, climate action and nature-based solutions, strong institutions and governance, which I have talked about. And the very last slide, I invite you to have a look, and these links are also, can we go to the next slide, please? Next slide, please. Yeah, this is, a lot of what I have said in this presentation. The detailed information is available in these links from the UNDP and the UN system. And I thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amir Goraya from UNDP, especially for enlightening us about the sustainable development in response to climate change. We really appreciate. Our last expert, but not least, this morning, before we invite a few leaders for intervention, so I'd like to invite His Excellency Bundit Sapecha Dr. Soksipana, the Senior Minister in charge of Special Mission in the Kingdom of Cambodia, to enlighten us about the post-conflict reconstruction and international integration. Your Excellency, floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm glad I made on time because I was coming from the other side of the river, and thanks for the police car, I wouldn't be able to make it. So pleased to come here, and at least as the last speaker, I have a lot of opportunity to say whatever I want to say. So it'd be me and lunch. So
we have 4 more interventions.
Oh, okay. So in that case,
3 minutes.
Yeah, good. But anyway, I think
Thank you.
You're all here in Cambodia. When you landed, you see all these new buildings, this high-rise. Bear in mind that a few years ago, Phnom Penh is a horizontal city. Now it's a vertical city. And you wonder, Cambodia development is probably been growing so fast all this year. But bear in mind that about 30-some years ago, just 30-some years ago, Cambodia just emerged from the war. Just about that. So imagine less than one generation, we've been able, and this morning, for that matter, I was with Samdech Daecho, we received a delegation, and he was telling that when at that time, the country was so poor, was so miserable. Less than a generation later, we are able to achieve so much growth. And here is a lot to do with the peace and reconciliation that is a topic pretty much of this international conference. Without peace, we cannot have development. But for Cambodia, the biggest transition was the accession to the WTO. We got our new constitution in '93. 2 years later, the WTO transformed from a GATT to be a WTO in 1995. At that time, we could not join the WTO because way back in the 60s, when at that time the GATT came about, we could not become a member at that time. So we have to, after the war, we have to reapply to join the WTO. But at that time, 93 to 95, we barely had 2 years to prepare. So anyway, we submit an application, and then it took another 6 years until Cambodia have full peace. Because from 93 to 98, we were still not a secure country yet. There's still a portion of the country under the Khmer Rouge. So it's only when we have the win-win peace policy that the whole country is under one government that we've been able to submit an application to WTO and start the negotiation. So the negotiation took in 99. At that time, people are still insecure. They are not willing to fix their house. They are not willing to invest. But it's only after we joined the WTO in 2004 that the whole economy took off. I happened to be the negotiator to get Cambodia to WTO. And at that time, we only had one hotel in Siem Reap, one hotel. And we all struggle to get a room whenever we go to have a meeting there. Now, fast forward 20-some years, as a matter of fact, this year is our 20th year of accession. Fast forward 20 years later, that's what you have now. So I think the power of the market is quite clear, that, you know, through market liberalization, unfortunately the world is turning away from liberalization now. But I'm saying when we joined the WTO, it was a time when globalization was riding high, I'm not so sure now, but what I'm saying is that thanks to the WTO, thanks to economic liberalization, Cambodia was able to really grow. And mainly because our policy was so open. In our WTO commitment, the only restriction we have is on land ownership. The rest is total liberalization. Bank can have 100%, insurance company can have 100%. So that's what is the factor that motivate many investors to come to Cambodia now. And what you see here is a generational change, a generation from a war-torn country to a peace country. And what I suspect that for the next 10 years, the market will take off, because this country is so stable. In fact, in a region, I mean, I could say in the region, we probably one the most stable country. And stability is a condition sine qua non. Political stability is a condition sine qua non to secure investor. Now we have investor coming from everywhere. You know, we now have 6 bicycle manufacturing. We're the #1 in the Europe exporting bicycle, not the $50 bicycle, the $10,000 bicycle. We have 6 factories now. We have 8 car manufacturing in Cambodia now. We start to have EV now. I think the latest statistic, we have like only about 3,000 EV car. But combustion car, we have 8 factories now assembly. Our port is expanding. We have new highway. So I would say, you know, of all this economic development, there's one factor behind, is political stability. And we cannot have political stability if we don't have peace. Without peace, there can be no development. And I could wrap up by saying that the story of Cambodia, the story of our success, is all based on peace. And I'm so glad that we are here. We have the opportunity to discuss how peace can change not just the world, but peace did change Cambodia from a war-torn to a thriving economy. So that's all my message. And later on, if we have some opportunity, I know my time is running out, but that's basically my main message today. Yeah. So once again, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Dr. Saksipana. Yes, we agree. No development without peace, and we thank Samdech Senate President, His Excellency Hun Sen, for leading peace and prosperity in Cambodia. Let's give him big hand. Thank you so much. Before we conclude this session, we have 4 representatives. They will do 3-minute intervention each. It means we will be 10 to 12 minutes more in this session. And so I'd like to invite them to give their very brief intervention as the host as the guest of the host. At the same time, may I also invite Dr. Michael Jenkins. Maybe you can take one of the available seat on the stage. And for intervention, first I'd like to invite His Excellency Mr. Francisco Chau Huan, the Senator of the National Congress of Valparaiso, Chile. Your Excellency. You can take any seat, I think, no problem. Yeah.
¿Quién de ustedes ha observado en sus respectivos países que hay una crisis de confianza? ¿Cuántos de ustedes? ¿Cuántos de ustedes han visto un cuestionamiento a la forma del ejercicio del poder? Pues bien, estamos en un cambio epocal. Hoy día lo único permanente es la crisis. Lo único persistente es el cambio. Y vemos como un diagnóstico compartido cómo las desconfianzas en las instituciones y las desconfianzas entre las personas se ha ido acrecentándose de manera acelerada. El debilitamiento de los marcos democráticos, cómo ha ido también generando el surgimiento de los populismos de las izquierdas y las derechas, y cómo finalmente termina validándose muchas veces la violencia como un método de acción política. Esto refrendado por el eco de los iguales, el uso intensivo de redes sociales que tiende a polarizar, a reafirmar nuestras propias convicciones y, en definitiva, a dividir. Es por eso que es tan importante hoy día poder establecer mecanismos prospectivos. ¿Quién ha escuchado hablar de prospectiva? ¿Cuántos de ustedes? Prospectiva es una ciencia que busca construir futuro, que busca establecer los caminos para construir climas que permitan construir un mejor futuro. Los futuros no son mejores ni peores. Los futuros son aquellos que somos capaces de construir colectivamente. Y porque estamos ciertos que los caminos de la libertad no están asegurados, porque el respeto a la institucionalidad democrática no está garantizada, es tan necesario crear condiciones justamente para que a través del respeto a los derechos fundamentales podamos construir sociedades más equitativas y más justas. Prospectar. Prospectar no es retórica del futuro. Prospectar implica capacidad de instalar métodos para tener diagnósticos acertados y construir mejores futuros. ¿Qué hicimos en Chile? En Chile creamos la Comisión Desafíos del Futuro, que es la segunda creada a nivel global. La primera se creó en Finlandia en la década del 90. ¿Qué hizo Finlandia? Finlandia era un país con los peores índices de calidad de educación. Era un país con dependencia energética del petróleo ruso. Era un país con pésima distribución del ingreso. Y tuvo que haber un acuerdo parlamentario para crear esta comisión que buscara establecer una institucionalidad y un espacio para construir diálogo social, para construir un proyecto colectivo de nación, para ponerse de acuerdo, más allá de las diferencias ideológicas legítimas, qué país se quería construir para los próximos 20, 30 años. Y pues bien, Finlandia dio el salto. Finlandia se convirtió en un país con los mejores índices de calidad en Europa, un modelo, se transformó en un país con autonomía energética y se transformó en un país que reguló procesos migratorios y fue capaz de advertir los cambios que se venían por delante. Chile fue el segundo país del mundo en crearla. ¿Y en qué hemos estado? A diferencia del resto de las comisiones de desafío del futuro que hemos logrado coayudar para que se puedan crear en los respectivos parlamentos, ya somos 17 en el mundo, nuestra comisión es además una comisión legislativa. Y pues bien, creamos la primera ley de ciberseguridad en América Latina y el Caribe, un marco de ciberseguridad. Vamos a crear la primera ley de inteligencia artificial de las Américas, de todas las Américas, porque los cambios que se nos avecinan son cada vez exponencialmente rápidos. Si ustedes creen que hoy día tenemos rapidez y donde la inteligencia artificial con la posibilidad justamente de sistematizar la cantidad de datos hoy día es acelerada, les quiero advertir que se está trabajando en el CERN, he tenido la oportunidad de trabajar con ellos, para la creación de algoritmos cuánticos, para la irrupción en los próximos años, en los próximos 5 o 7 años, de la computación cuántica, que va a disminuir los tiempos del procesamiento de datos de manera acelerada. Y eso implica nuevos desafíos. ¿Qué haremos con la inteligencia artificial? Bueno, en Chile tomamos una decisión. La inteligencia artificial está al servicio de la persona humana, está al servicio de la dignidad humana. Y estamos legislando en torno a los riesgos, vale decir, el riesgo de los usos de la información producto de un sistema de inteligencia artificial. Y definimos aquellos sistemas de inteligencia artificial de riesgo inaceptable, por ejemplo, la posibilidad de establecer controles biométricos con pantallas establecidas en la vía pública para los efectos de establecer las emociones o las condiciones en que cada una de las personas se desenvuelve en la sociedad. Inaceptable. Aquellos sistemas de inteligencia artificial con riesgo alto y que tendrá que regularse, porque la inteligencia artificial tendrá que tener supervisión humana, o aquellas de riesgo más bien limitado. Pero algo tenemos que hacer. Y esos son los desafíos. ¿Y por qué lo planteo acá? Lo planteo porque justamente el índice latinoamericano de inteligencia artificial muestra los países que están a la vanguardia. Chile, pionero. Uruguay, pionero. Brasil, pionero. Los países que son exploradores y los países que están en la retaguardia. Las diferencias que hoy día vemos en nuestras sociedades se van a profundizar. ¿Cuántos de nuestros países tienen asegurado la iluminación o la capacidad tecnológica de un 5G en las zonas rurales? El acceso al conocimiento, la información, es clave para saber qué tipo de país tenemos que construir o qué tipo de sociedad queremos construir para adelante. Por tanto, los desafíos tradicionales, analógicos, están siendo sobrepasados. Quiero señalar que a diferencia, además, fuimos el primer país del mundo en proteger los neuroderechos frente a la irrupción de las neurotecnologías. Y hoy día ese ejercicio está siendo imitado por UK y otros países para proteger la autonomía en las tomas de las decisiones de las personas.
Excellency, please summarize your view, please.
Sí, termino.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
One minute.
Please.
Sí. Hemos también trabajado justamente para proteger el patrimonio genómico de las personas. Bueno, son las materias que tenemos que abordar. Entonces yo quisiera señalar y plantearle un desafío, agradecer, por supuesto, a Ahmed Al-Jarwan, su excelencia, por el trabajo, por convocarnos acá y convocarnos en Camboya. Camboya sabe finalmente de genocidio. Camboya sabe finalmente de la justicia transicional. Y yo le quiero señalar que de acá los quiero emplazar a los parlamentarios que hoy día nos acompañan. ¿La institucionalidad internacional está a la altura de las circunstancias? ¿Es posible que un solo país vete las resoluciones del Consejo de Seguridad de Naciones Unidas? ¿Es posible que un solo país vete una resolución de alto al fuego en Gaza? Yo le quiero decir que poco servirá si hablamos en abstracto de la paz, si no unimos los esfuerzos para que, en definitiva, seamos capaces, a través del ejercicio de nuestro poder en los parlamentos, de decirle al mundo alto al genocidio en Gaza. 42.000 personas, la mayoría mujeres y niños, han fallecido. De nosotros depende que este evento en Camboya no se transforme simplemente en una visita a un país que ha sufrido en su historia reciente, sino que el país que motivó a muchos a decir que lo ocurrido en Camboya no se vuelva a repetir en Gaza. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for very important message. Your Excellency, Senator from Chile. Next, may I invite His Excellency Dr. Michael Jenkins. He is the chairman of Washington Times Foundation and Holdings, which publishes the Washington Times newspaper in Washington, D.C. Your Excellency, Dr. Jenkins, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And please remind the time is strictly 3 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairman Eknath Dekal, and also Her Excellency Margaret Restrepo, co-chairman. And also want to thank His Excellency Susiara, who's the president of IPTP. I think we should give him a hand for this great conference. And also His Excellency Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Juran, I've known for many, many years as president of GCPT. Assalamu alaikum. We're very grateful for the Muslim participation from around the world. Multilateralism means we have more than 2 nations. We have many nations. But it also means we have many faiths, many communities. We come together. And we should include everyone. I'm so happy China is here, Russia's here, also Cuba's here, and North and South Korea are here. We are honored to welcome everybody, because to really have ongoing friendship and partnership to break through, we need to really embrace everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing Her Excellency Speaker Kun Sadari, who I see as also one of the key figures that have helped to build this incredible miracle of Cambodia. And thank you to Dr. Sok Safani, my dear friend. The miracle of Cambodia is such an example for us in this conference, but the whole idea of parliamentarians coming together is very crucial for the future of the world, because there is so much misinformation out there, and we've got to be careful. I was an election observer with many of you in the Cambodian elections, and we heard nothing but doubt, fear, and proclamations of some kind of a change of government that wasn't really fair, or an unfair election. Fake news, false, completely false. And we just went through election in America. The Washington Times, which I'm president of the holding company, we endorsed President Trump. We heard nothing but fake news. He's a Nazi, he's a fascist, and then all of a sudden Democrats started joining his campaign because people want to get away from this fake news. That's why interpersonal relationships like IPTP are more important than just reading what comes in the internet. This relationship going is very crucial for the future of the world. So I also want to thank His Excellency Senate President Hun Sen, former Prime Minister, and Prime Minister Hun Manet. His speech yesterday was historic. It should be documented and put out everywhere in the world, because I heard many things yesterday that I never understood, especially how the UN didn't recognize the government that he had been able to establish coming from the battles that he went through. Even though many years there was stability and development, and yet the UN was not recognizing yet. So I'm very glad our UN representatives are here. And also our Universal Peace Charter is very important. We affirmed it with our MOUs, and we affirmed the United Nations. We want to see the United Nations supported by all nations. We have to cooperate and be aligned, not in some kind of a different capacity, but IPTP formed and developed the Universal Peace Charter, and we totally support that. I'm with the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, also a global association. The Peace Charter is revolutionary. Why? It does something that I've never seen before in interparliamentary relationships. It includes non-state actors. I think that's very important. When I've been to Gaza 18 times, I've been to Israel 46 times. When wars broke out and conflict broke out, we were always able to go to Gaza no matter what, because religious leaders could keep going no matter what. Even when the government said no more negotiations, no more cooperation, just fighting. And religious leaders could come that were Muslim, Christian, and so forth, and we could go there. I see the non-state actors being included in our deliberations. Boy, the Universal Peace Charter is going to change the world, because it applies to any group of nations, any group. So thank you very much, and thank you, President Sosiara, and may God be with you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michael Jenkins, for your important remarks. Next, may I invite His Excellency Mr. Jean Galvanis M. Gassiyombo, the member of the National Assembly of Central African Republic, for 3-minute intervention. Your Excellency. And we have 2 more. Within another 9 minutes, we'll conclude this session.
I will give you 3 African minutes, which is about 45 minutes. Je voudrais tout d'abord remercier Son Excellence Ahmed Al-Jawan et son équipe, le grand peuple du Cambodge, et surtout tous ceux qui ont permis que nous soyons ici pour que nous puissions parler du multilatérisme, de la coopération, du partenariat et de la coexistence inclusive. Je viens de la République centrafricaine. La République centrafricaine est située au cœur de l'Afrique, sud du Tchad, ouest du Soudan, est du Cameroun, nord de la RDC. C'est un pays qui est riche de ressources naturelles, avec plus de 622 000 km², riche de forêts, avec plus de 158 millions d'hectares de forêts, et riche en terres fertiles, avec plus de 15 millions d'hectares de terres arables, dont 2% seulement sont cultivés. Malgré toutes ces richesses, la RCA n'a pas connu une longue période de paix depuis son indépendance de la France en 1960. 5 coups d'État ont marqué l'histoire de la République centrafricaine. En 1966, en 1979, en 1981, en 2003 et en 2013. Ces coups d'État militaires ont conduit à des années de conflits et d'instabilité qui ont détruit les infrastructures et les institutions du pays. Depuis 2016, cependant, avec l'aide des Nations Unies et des troupes venant de plusieurs pays, nous avons réalisé d'énormes progrès et la paix et la croissance économique ont repris dans notre pays. Je voudrais ici remercier tout particulièrement le Cambodge pour avoir envoyé des jeunes gens, des jeunes hommes pour aider à maintenir la paix dans mon pays. Voici comment le multilatérisme, la coopération internationale, le partenariat et son fondement peuvent aider pour la construction de la paix et de la coopération internationale. Lorsque nous parlons de multilatérisme et de coopération internationale, nous parlons en fait de la paix et de la tolérance, c'est-à-dire nous faisons en réalité référence aux nécessités fondamentales de la vie. Les gens veulent simplement vivre une vie simple. Les gens veulent avoir accès aux soins de santé, à l'éducation et à la nourriture. Cela ne devrait pas être si compliqué. C'est pourquoi l'importance du multilatérisme et de la coopération internationale ne peut être surestimée. Il crée les bases d'une croissance durable, de l'équité sociale et du bien-être. Sans ces systèmes, les efforts visant à atteindre les objectifs du développement seraient considérablement compromis. Nous avons appris hier, grâce au président du Sénat du Cambodge, que faire progresser l'architecture mondiale de paix, de réconciliation et de tolérance est essentiel pour favoriser un monde où prévalent la justice, la dignité humaine et le respect mutuel. En promouvant la réconciliation et en acceptant les différences culturelles, religieuses et idéologiques, nous jetons les bases d'un développement durable et d'une coexistence harmonieuse. Un engagement envers le multilatérisme et la coopération ne peuvent que combler les divisions, de penser les blessures et de construire des sociétés résilientes et prospères grâce à l'inclusion et à la coopération. Ensemble, défendons ces valeurs comme fondamentaux et œuvrons pour la coopération internationale afin que la justice et la paix soient une réalité pour tous. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much, Excellency, the MP from Central African Republic. Next, may I invite His Excellency Mr. Donatin Lee Dumemi Mumbasago, the member of the National Assembly of Gabon, for your 3-minute intervention, please.
Thank you. His Excellency, members of the Parliament, since my arrival in the Kingdom of Cambodia, I have been privileged to witness one of the most impactful initiatives in the area of peace and tolerance. Thanks to the leadership of the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, IPTP, please receive the fraternal greetings from the people of Gabon, from the National Assembly, and from His Excellency President Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema of Gabon, a country known for being peaceful and tolerant. It takes a village to build peace and tolerance around the world. One nation cannot achieve it on its own. This is why I remain fully persuaded of the importance of solidifying multilateral relations, cooperation, and partnership for coexistence and inclusive connectivity for our people. But what does all of this mean to the people of this beautiful kingdom, Cambodia, and finally to the people in Gabon? What does it mean? Multilateral relations, cooperation, partnership, and inclusivity. As a member of Parliament, I believe legislative diplomacy is key because we represent the people, and as such, there will be no peace unless we meet the needs of the people through cooperation and partnership. If we build our people's capacity and grow leadership at every nation's level, if we deploy our policies like parliamentary diplomacy, if we use technology, leveraging every people's talent and genius, we will definitely connect our nation by ushering them into a dynamic momentum which no one will ever be able to stop. Finally, what indeed do we have to connect? What indeed should we solidify? And who do we have to partner with? The answer is clear, simple, and obvious. We have to connect with the dreams of every one of us, the dreams of those watching from home. For example, on day one, I met Mary, my Cambodian liaison officer. She is extremely gifted and professional. She has dreams for her country and dreams for herself. She wants to be an English teacher and help children. On day two, I met with the bus driver. He took us for a tour to the Royal Palace. For sure, that driver has dreams too. When we define the vision at a much higher level, when we promote tolerance and peace in governments and parliaments, when we connect with the dreams of ordinary people like Mary, like the bus driver, or like Vaneri, the palace guide, and when we act within the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, only then will we be successful in making the world a better place. By the way, I love Cambodian food. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, from Gabon. Our final speaker on the second plenary is from Ecuador. May I invite Her Excellency Raisa Corral, the MP of Ecuador.
Muy buenos días, autoridades del Parlamento Internacional para la Tolerancia y la Paz, sus distinguidos miembros, delegados, a las autoridades y también a los habitantes del Reino de Camboya que nos han recibido tan gentilmente. Estimados colegas, les saludo como legisladora y en representación de la Asamblea Nacional del Ecuador. Vengo del país de la mitad del mundo, considerado uno de los más megadiversos del planeta, donde contamos con 4 regiones: nuestra hermosa Sierra de los Andes, las costas del Pacífico, la selva oriental y nuestro hermoso paraíso insular, las Islas Galápagos. Es un honor estar aquí hoy en este encuentro para compartir y para ratificar el compromiso firme de Ecuador en la promoción de la paz y la tolerancia a nivel global. Agradezco la invitación para participar en este importante foro, donde hemos sido testigos de cómo se congregan voces y experiencias diversas unidas por un mismo objetivo: construir un mundo en el que la coexistencia sea la norma y no la excepción. Hoy, más que nunca, debemos renovar nuestro compromiso como Estado para precautelar la paz. La historia nos ha enseñado que los caminos hacia la paz no son sencillos, pero también nos ha mostrado que fortalecer las relaciones multilaterales, la cooperación y la asociación son las herramientas más poderosas que tenemos hoy a nuestra disposición. En esta era de desafíos globales, es fundamental que trabajemos juntos, compartiendo nuestras fortalezas y recursos para poder abordar problemáticas que amenazan nuestra estabilidad y el bienestar de nuestros pueblos. La Asamblea Nacional del Ecuador ha tomado pasos significativos en este sentido, fortaleciendo nuestros lazos con naciones amigas y promoviendo iniciativas que fomentan el diálogo y la comprensión mutua. Creemos firmemente que la diversidad cultural es una riqueza que debe ser celebrada y protegida. En este contexto, la conectividad inclusiva se convierte en un pilar esencial para garantizar que todas las voces sean escuchadas y que todos los ciudadanos, sin importar su origen, tengan la oportunidad de contribuir al desarrollo de nuestras sociedades. Invito a todos los presentes a que sigamos construyendo puentes y no muros, a que cada uno de nosotros, en nuestras respectivas naciones y desde nuestros espacios, nos convirtamos en embajadores de la paz, promoviendo la tolerancia y el respeto en nuestras comunidades y también en el ámbito internacional. Solo así podremos garantizar un futuro en el que las generaciones venideras vivan en armonía, con oportunidades, sin miedo ni divisiones. Velar por sus derechos es tarea de todos nosotros. Agradezco nuevamente la oportunidad de dirigirme a ustedes y reafirmo el compromiso de mi país, de Ecuador, en ser un agente activo en la construcción de un mundo más pacífico, tolerante e inclusivo. Sigamos adelante juntos por la paz. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the MP from Ecuador. Thank you so much. So we'll continue our closing session, and I appreciate all the distinguished speakers for their invaluable contribution for the success of the second plenary as well as for the success of 11th plenary of IPTP. So thank you so much. So this concludes this second plenary, and we'll continue for our closing session. So may I invite...
Honorable Chair, you can pass over to me.
Yeah, so I'd like to pass mic to our in-house
Thank you very
MC for
much.
further proceeding. Thank you so much.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to our chair. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, His Excellency Mr. Agna Dalkar, Member of the Parliament of Nepal, and also Co-Chair, Her Excellency Mrs. Margarita Respeto, Chairperson of the General Assembly of GCTP, for your excellent leadership as co-chairs. I also would like to extend my gratitude to all honorable speakers and experts for your fruitful and insightful contributions. So, at this time and this moment, before we proceed to the next segment of our agenda, the closing session of the 11th IPTP, I'd like to respectfully invite honorable speakers, heads, and members of delegate, distinguished guests, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, to take a moment to stretch yourself while remaining inside as we prepare for our important closing session. We also like to request your permission to arrange the stage for the closing session as well. And our Honorable Samdai Chairperson of the 11th plenary session of IPTP will be attending shortly. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please stretch yourself and get ready for the next exciting moment. Thank you.